Tires at 80 miles an hour. He pops up. He rolls that airplane out at about 100 feet, levels off down, accelerates down our show line. There's about 120. There's 130 as he approaches show center. He's got that power push forward. All 985 cubic inches, spinning that big 108-inch long Hamilton standard propeller at 140 miles an hour. Show center, nose comes up. The wings go round. Ladies and gentlemen, out of Harvard, Illinois, Dave Dacey and the big Super Stearman. Now as we watch Dave extend air show right, he'll be setting up for the next portion of his air show demonstration. Diving into the air show aerobatic area off that right side. He does a maneuver that airplane did so many thousands of times during its second career. That is that big crop duster style turnaround. Now as Dave puts that nose down, lets it start to bite at that great southern Wisconsin air here today. Power push forward. You can hear the roar of that big propeller as he comes right back at us here from air show right. In 2007, Dave Dacey Airshows was honored to be the recipients of the Bill Barber Award for Showmanship, which was presented at Oshkosh Air Adventure. Now as we watch, bring that airplane straight up into the vertical in that absolutely gorgeous blue sky. Brings that Stearman right on up and around, arcs right on through in the classic loop. Now as he lets that nose come around here at air show left. A lot of energy right there. 155 miles an hour. Dave goes in the left end zone. As we watch him extend air show left, he pops that Stearman straight back up into the vertical. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Right about there. He flies that airplane right across the top. Tilts his head back in that open cockpit. Executes a half roll as he brings that airplane right back at us here. Position himself right down at air show center. Now as Dave extends, there's about 160 miles an hour. 170 miles an hour as he flies that airplane right on up. Carves that sky into 8 slices with the giant 8-sided loop. The giant stop sign in the sky as he comes right on around at air show center. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Dacey. As you watch Dave fly, remember, he'll be doing many of these same maneuvers, except wing walker stuntman Tony Kazian will be on the outside of this airplane. Let's watch right now as he executes a beautiful hammerhead turn. Diving straight back down again. Airspeed starts to build. This airplane started life built in 1942 by the Stearman division of the Boeing Airplane Company in Wichita, Kansas. Sold brand spanking new to the United States Army Air Corps. It went to work through the World War II time frame, teaching young people how to fly. It was the primary trainer in choice. In 1946, the airplane was then sold surplus and went to work down in the Delta as an aerial applicator. That's right, a crop duster. Dave acquired the airplane with all the crop dusting tank up where the front seat used to be. The big boom hanging off the bottom of the wings. That was a real spray rig when he bought it in 1977. He spent the next year modifying the airplane into the air show special we see here today. And so now, in its 59th year of thrilling air show fans and people that working for a living, ladies and gentlemen, out here, Dave Dacey in the big Stearman biplane. Again, an airplane that's been working hard since 1942. Now as you watch it bring that Stearman right down the show line here, showing a nice crisp roll rate of the Stearman. Big difference we see here between the stock Stearman, as we saw John fly earlier, and the Super Stearman, of course, is on the business end. When Dave pushes that throttle forward, he's working with about 500 total horsepower. John Moore has got 220 on the nose of his. That's the completely original engine. Dave, of course, has also added ailerons to the upper wing, which greatly enhanced the roll rate of that big Stearman. As we watch him bring that Stearman right back down onto the deck, there's 130, 140 miles an hour. Now the nose comes up, the wings go round as he carves that sky right on through. Look at that as he does the 4-point hesitation roll. Every 90 degrees he stops the roll and completes the 4-point roll. This airplane, of course, Dave has done a very nice job of color coordinating that paint job. When you see the sunburst design like you see right now, you're looking at the top side of the airplane. As he comes across the top, you'll notice the checkerboards are on the bottom side, so very nicely done. As you listen to the noise from that airplane, about 90% of that noise is actually from the propeller as it comes down the show line. As that prop being spun, the 108-inch long disc being spun at 2,300 revolutions per minute, that gives you about 4 inches of each prop tip blade that are actually going supersonic. Now as you watch Dave go into that right end zone, look at that, so you go straight up, coast into the vertical, straight up out there off air show right about there, just before he's all out of up. He steps on that left rudder, hammerhead turn, dives straight back down, makes his wind correction while diving out here at air show center. Brings that airplane right back down onto our hard deck here as we watch him extend air show left to right to left here. He brings that airplane right on down the line here, executes the 8-point hesitation roll. Right down the show line, the 8-point roll. Now as he coasts into that left end zone. What a day to be out here in Waukesha. I'll tell you what, Dave, of course, dedicates his performance to that barnstorming era when aviation was new, flying was young, and of course those young aviators had gotten their first taste of flying in World War I and learned to fly on airplanes with names like Jenny and Standard, and had flown in World War I. And when they came back, of course, there wasn't a United Airlines or an American Airlines to go to work for, so they had to make their own living if they wanted to continue flying. They bought those surplus trainers and went into what they called, ended up being called the barnstorming business. They brought aviation to the heartland. They come to towns like Waukesha and Lake Geneva, Beloit, and they would show them these newfangled flying machines, the kind of thing that most people had never even seen at that point, other than in a newsreel or on a newspaper clip. And they would make arrangements with a local farmer to use a nice hayfield close to town as their makeshift airport, because of course beautiful airports like this just didn't exist. So they would use that hayfield as their airport and make arrangements hopefully with one of the farm kids to be their gas service there, where they'd run in town with the gas cans and take care of that service with them, and hopefully in trade for an airplane ride. Well, they would do that, and when you ever had that great people in that town had that combination of daring and cash, and took those flights, well, he'd prosper pretty good in a lot of these communities, and you get a beautiful weekend like this where the business was good, and it was a great time to be doing it. Then there were days where it rained for about a week solid, and maybe the county fair had been in town the week before, so money was a little tight, and those young aviators didn't do so well, so they'd have to make arrangements with that farmer to maybe tie up alongside the barn with their airplane and be able to sleep in the hayloft, hence the term barnstorming. A romantic era of aviation, when aviation was brought to the heartland of the country, and I'll tell you what a time that had to be. As we watch Dave come down the show line, just demonstrating to you the very crisp handling characteristics of this big ton-and-a-half biplane known as the Stearman. Yeah, these airplanes were built brand spanking new in Wichita, Kansas by the Boeing Airplane Company Stearman Division, and what a great airplane they turned out to be. They built about 10,000 of these machines, of which at least about 1,600 still exist. So that's a testament of something that was built in the 1940s, early 1940s, used as a military trainer, and still remains in that kind of numbers. As you watch Dave come right down the show line, doing the nice hesitation roll. Now as Dave extends into air show left, again, what a day to be here in Waukesha. You're going to get a chance to see some of the very best of the air show performers. We watch Dave down there. He's got the smoke just billowing off there in between the runways, and he'll be setting up for his arrival sequence here in just a moment. The rumble of that big Pratt Whitney as Dave sets up out here off air show left. There's about 150 miles an hour, so he brings her right back down onto the hard deck. In parade review, right down the show line, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Dacey in the Super Stearman. Showing you a nice 4-point roll as he goes right on through out there off of air show right. Again, what a day to be here at the airport. We've got the best of the best draw here, and we're looking forward to it's going to be just a fantastic time out here. Again, just a few minutes away from little Air Show 101 from Dr. Bill Blank and the Super Decathlon, as Dave does a crop duster style turnaround out there off Air Show right, teardrop turnaround coming back at us here from that right side. Coming right back at us here from the right end zone there. Coming right down onto our FAA mandated Air Show control line here. Brings that Stearman right down in parade review. Ladies and gentlemen, from your right, let's give a great big Waukesha welcome to Dave Dacey. Great job, Dave. As Dave sets up for his arrival sequence, while he's getting in position over here off of Air Show left to land on our runway 10. Tell you a little bit about Dr. Bill Blank. Bill is a senior AME and retired ophthalmologist. He began flying aerobatics 34 years ago when he took 10 hours of aerobatic course from Air Show pilot Pete Myers and has been teaching aerobatics for the past 29 years. He began flying air shows in 1987 and obtained a level 1 surface waiver in 1989. His